G'day Bomber fans, there has been some news I think 90% of us will absolutely love. Adrian Dodoro is taking a step down from his role as list manager and we have a promising young up-and-comer joining the ranks. So I am going to break down what this all means because I've seen some misunderstand the news, and to be fair I think that's on the club. The statement released by them wasn't exactly clear, but I'm going to talk about what this means for the future of our footy club and why I think this has been handled in a really effective way. So for those who may be living under a rock not aware of who this video is about, Adrian Dodoro has been our list manager for, what, 25 years I think, since 1998. He came into the club as we were on the up. We won our flag in 2000. To be fair, most of the work for that was done before Dodoro, but he assisted in that. And then of course we went on a streak without finals, without a finals win, which is still going. And in that time we have seen mass culls across the board, coaches, assistants, players, presidents, CEOs, but Dodoro has been the mainstay. This has caused the fan base to call for his head. It's gotten to a point where Essendon officials can't go on radio shows without being grilled about it. Craig Votso, our CEO, the recent victim of this, and I think this is most likely part of the reason Dodoro has decided to slowly take a step back. So yesterday we released a statement, the headline being around Adrian Dodoro and him taking a step back. So no, he is not stepping away from the club. He's still going to be with us next year, but his role will be limited as he sees through a transition period. Think John Worsfold in 2020 for Ben Rutten. So he's going to spearhead the upcoming draft and trade period and then slowly hand the reins over to Matt Rosa, who I will talk more about later. So for anyone who thinks Dodoro is already out the door, he is not, but he is stepping down from his senior role. Now, I've seen some ask, why doesn't he just leave now? Why don't we just hire a ready-made list manager to take over? List managers aren't coaches. They are arguably harder to come by than coaches. We need to find the right one, and a process was undertaken in which Matt Rosa was signalled as the best fit for our club. Now, he is inexperienced at the top level. If he was going to come into the role straight away without assistance, he would be out of his depth. So Dodoro is going to guide him and help him as he steps forward into his first big gig for us. This, in my eyes, is ideal. I'm not really all that familiar with Rosa's work, but realistically, how often do we see list managers appointed without a clear-cut 10 out of 10 resume? We have to trust that the club made the right decision with Rosa, because if they did, the current situation is one in which I see a young, up-and-coming, smart footy person learning from one of the, actually, the most experienced man in the league for his role. I would say the only real issue I can see happening with this situation could be Dodoro, who has been quite an outspoken and demanding member at the club, and whether or not he could take it upon himself to stay in the picture, or more so in the forefront of proceedings. But Votso won't let this happen. He has made big efforts to settle the tension between Dodoro and other club members in the past. He won't just let him run the show from an unofficial role. Now onto Matt Rosa. It's a name most nuffies should know. He was obviously a former West Coast player. He played over 200 games of AFL football from 2005 to 2018, where he wrapped up his footy playing life with Gold Coast. He is only 36, I believe, so still very young, but right after retiring he joined West Coast as a development and midfield coach before heading over to Peel Thunder, which is a waffle team linked to Fremantle, to be their general manager. It was his time at Peel which impressed those who hired him. This was a really big period for the club. They had lots of overhauls in their system. He oversaw a change to the list management strategy and an improvement in their culture, and this has all resulted in them rising the ladder again to now be a chance to win the Waffle Grand Final, which takes place this weekend, I think. So he's going to head over to Victoria to live after the Peel season is done, after the trade and draft period is done in the AFL. He won't be involved in that, and he will start his new role with us in 2024. So what does this really all mean for Dodoro? I expect him to leave the club formally at the conclusion of the 2024 season, maybe at the end of 2024 actually, so he can oversee Rosa in his first draft and trade period. It's an exciting time. I've never been alive while Dodoro hasn't been at the club, which is just wild to think about. His Essendon lifespan is older than I am, so this is a big change, and the fact it's happening smoothly is good. Some want a quick, sharp sacking. I like that Dodoro, or that it's on Dodoro's terms, and that he can still have an impact in teaching Rosa, because Dodoro is an Essendon man. He loves the club. He doesn't want to see us fail in any way. I think now that this change is coming, we can hopefully lay off him a bit and thank him for his service. It hasn't gone the way he would have liked, but he has given a lot to the club over the last few decades. He has definitely copped a lot lately. I'm guessing some internet trolls have been paying him a visit, which is never good. So let's lay off him now and give him the opportunity to help out Rosa in his new role. That is all though. Quick little Essendon update. For many, this is a happy day. I myself am really pleased. I'm not a Dodoro hater. He is a fairly well-respected list manager across the league. I just think change is necessary after so long. Even if we were a successful club, you would want to see someone else brought in for the future, and that is what we are doing. So really exciting news in my eyes. Comment down below what you think, like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and go Bombers.